Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a question that sounds, well, kind of ridiculous, but it's just swept the internet.
Yeah.
Who wins, 100 unarmed men or one silverback gorilla?
It's one of those thought experiments,
Yeah.
makes you stop and think. And it's actually generated a surprising amount of discussion from all sorts of places.
It really has. And guiding our dive today is, believe it or not, a Wikipedia article called 100 Men versus a Gorilla. Seriously,
There's an article for everything.
pretty much. So our mission is to figure out where this whole thing came from, look at what the science actually says, because experts have weighed in, which is amazing, and explore why this bizarre idea grabbed so much attention.
Okay, let's get into it. This wasn't like spontaneous combustion. The source says the question first showed up back in 2020 on Reddit.
Ah, Reddit.
Okay.
On Reddit. Where else?
Exactly. That forum where they pit anyone against anything.
A breeding ground for weird hypotheticals.
Okay.
So Reddit 2020 popped up on TikTok a bit in 2022, apparently.
Yeah, got some views there. But it really went viral again just recently, April 2025, especially on Twitter. That's when it properly exploded.
You're right. What kicked it off that time?
Well, it got a huge boost when Mr. Beast, the YouTube guy, posted a joke asking for 100 guys to volunteer for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that tweet just ignited, got over 17 million views. Then suddenly everyone was talking about it. Even Elon Musk chimed in.
What did he say? Something profound.
Not exactly. More like, sure, what's the worst that could happen? Flipped.
Huh. Okay, so from a niche subreddit to Musk's feed, that's quite the journey. So when it hit the mainstream like that, what did the actual experts say? Primatologists, zoo people.
This is where it gets really interesting
Yeah.
because a few experts actually kind of push back on the idea that the gorilla just wins, no contest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tara Stoinski from the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund, she pointed out people tend to overestimate gorilla power, at least in this specific scenario. They're incredibly strong, yes, but that power, the jaws, it's mostly for, protection.
Yeah. Right, defense,
Yeah.
not for hunting down 100 dudes.
Exactly,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for initiating big brawls with large groups.
So protection, not necessarily aggression in that way. That's a key point. Does that mean the humans, just by sheer numbers, could actually be a threat?
Well, Stoinsky thought that and it's a big if a large group of humans could genuinely cooperate, coordinate their actions, maybe distract it, surround it, they might be able to prolong the fight, wear the gorilla out eventually.
Wear down.
And another primatologist, Michelle Rodriguez, she agreed, said gorillas aren't typically aggressive, they sort of pick their battles. Faced with 100 potential attackers, their instinct would likely be to flee.
Get away from the chaos. Makes sense.
Yeah, not stand and fight against those odds if they can avoid it.
Okay, but even if it tries to flee or if it is cornered, the risk for the humans must be, well, massive, right? You hear about gorilla strength, it sounds terrifying.
Oh, absolutely huge risk. Ron McGill from Zoo Miami, he thought the humans could potentially win. His idea was they'd have to work together to kind of envelop the gorilla, like a human straitjacket.
Human straitjacket. What?
Yeah. But he was really clear. He stressed there would be serious casualties, deaths even, broken bones, terrible bites, concussions, maybe broken necks before they subdued it, if they even could.
Grim.
Yeah.
So a win, but at a terrible cost.
A very high cost. And another primatologist, Kat Hobader, she added a really critical point. She said if the humans couldn't swarm it, if they were forced to attack one by one or just a few at a time,
Yeah.
they wouldn't stand a chance, zero chance. A single man, even a small group, would just be overwhelmed instantly.
So it all comes down to coordination versus chaos.
Exactly. Are we imagining a perfectly drilled unit or just, 100 guys running around in a panic? The science sort of hints that cooperation might offer a tiny possibility, but the danger is just incredibly high no matter what.
And this whole thing, beyond just the who would win, it sparked other stuff too, right? News outlets covered it,
Yeah.
celebrities got involved.
Yeah, Jake Paul weighed in apparently, got ridiculed for it. But it also touched on some surprising themes, like masculinity, animal ethics, stuff you wouldn't immediately connect.
How so?
Well, PETA, for instance, criticized Mr. Beast's tweet and said, keep animals out of these kinds of hypotheticals. And conservationists like Robert Irwin, they kind of flipped the question, asked how many people it takes not to fight a gorilla, but to protect endangered species like them.
That's a good point. Using the meme for something else.
Yeah, the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund even hoped maybe the meme could actually spark some interest in real gorilla conservation, turn the silly into something useful.
And didn't, like, a government account get involved?
Yeah.
Super unexpected.
Yeah, the official White House Twitter account, they actually used it to draw some kind of comparison to immigration policy under President Trump, which was a turn.
Wow, okay. That shows you how far a meme can travel and mutate.
It really does. A simple, kind of goofy online question can somehow tap into science, social debates, even politics. It's pretty wild.
So wrapping this up, what does this deep dive really tell us?
Mm.
We've seen this idea go from a niche forum post to this huge viral thing. Scientists weighed in, celebrities, even political accounts.
Uh-huh. And the experts, they clarified guerrilla behavior, likely to flee. Strength is for defense mainly. And they talked about human cooperation, the straitjacket idea, maybe wearing it down.
But always stressing the massive danger, especially if people attack individually. Huge casualties likely.
Definitely. And beyond the fight itself, it brought up masculinity, animal ethics, even conservation, unexpected connections.
Right. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. If this seemingly simple, almost absurd hypothetical battle can trigger such a wide range of reactions, scientific, social, political, what does that say about us? About how we think about power, about working together, and maybe how we view the wild world? Something to consider.